Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So you see the title that I put on this video: if the Laken Riley Act won't close the borders, then nothing will. Because this is, number one, how you do politics. This, unfortunately, a tragedy had to occur, but this is how you do politics. You don't beat around the bush. You don't allow people to add other little bills to the end. You don't say, hey, you're not serious about closing the borders, because if you would fund Ukraine. When yet you are flying 30,000 people a month here legally by law. And no one can say anything about it. Which is why, and let me get on this, which is why, like I say, politics, let's talk about Joe Biden's State of the Union address yesterday. I didn't see it all. I saw snippets of it. I could care less to watch it, because the stuff that I saw, he said stuff that he's going to do. I'm going to fight for this. I'm going to fight for that. I'm going to make sure this happens. We're going to do this. Blah, 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 blah. Wah, 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 wah. Man, look, you know why Joe Biden, you know why he can't get me with that stuff. Never really could, but this truly, like this term coming up, really, you cannot sell the people wolf tickets. You know why? You know why you can't threaten us with a Donald Trump term? Because we've already had a Donald Trump term. That's something I don't think that you realize. You can say, oh, they're gonna put you. Remember the last time that there was a vote, a campaign going on, and presidential campaign going on, and you said, if you vote for Republican, they're going to put you in chains. And a lot of people believe that, not realizing, wait a minute, we are under a Republican regime now at the time. And we're not in chains yet. Talking about Black Americans, because he was threatening Black Americans with that. If you don't vote for me, you black bullcoin. It was like, wait a minute, he's telling us all this stuff is going to happen, but nobody realized, dude, we already under a Republican term, and none of that stuff is happening. Even when, what was her name? Hillary Clinton was running against Donald Trump. It's the same scare tactics. And Trump still won. And folks like Roland Martin and Stacey Abrams and all them people were upset because they allowed Trump to get into office. The two black people that voted for Trump, they was upset with him. But now you got a whole lot more people ready to vote for Trump. A lot more Black Americans ready to vote for Trump, because, again, you cannot scare us with the boogeyman, with the Republican racist boogeyman. Because, one, we already know who Joe Biden is. We've already seen him. It's on video. Go on YouTube and look it up. You can see these videos with how Joe Biden big up and Strom Thurmond. That's his big homie, the person that was his mentor, the most racist dude, one of the most racist dude in the country. And he was a senator. Was it Alabama, I believe? And who helped you create the crime bill back in, was it 94? To where the mass incarceration bill that got a whole bunch of people locked up for a little pebble of crack compared to a kilo of cocaine, which was basically criminalizing the users, those with a habit, those with addiction. That's like putting everybody in jail who eat sugar. But every food in America pretty much got artificial sugar in it, or processed sugar, let's say that. So you had to put everybody in America in, well, I'll say 90% of Americans in prison because they eat sugar, because the sugar is addictive, is what I'm saying. It's like one compound away from being cocaine. It's that addictive. They even saying sugar is even more addictive than cocaine. And I believe it. The problem is we take it every day, so our body don't crave it like that. But stop eating sugar just for one moment and see what happens. But anyway, back to this State of the Union address. Like I said, watching that stuff, I'm like, whatever, because you can't threaten us with a Trump, you know what I'm saying, with a Trump presidency, because we already been through it. We've been through his, we've been through yours. Now we actually got real solid evidence to go over to see which person is best for us. And you can't dispute it. So the hell with your scare tactics. Do something. And here's the thing. When black people talk about reparations and people get upset and saying, wow, we had to pay for something that we had nothing to do with. Okay, let's say I go along with that. Right now you're paying for a war in Ukraine, or a war with Ukraine and Russia. You're paying for a war with Israel and Palestine. And you got nothing to do with it right now. What are you doing about it to stop it? Like, seriously, because we're U.S. citizens just like you guys are. We don't have no power. We have very little power, if any, to control what the government do. So we're not really an enemy, because we just want what we know is that what we're owed. And the reason why not the reason why asking, one of the main reasons why we're asking, most of y'all shouldn't say anything, because like I said, we're just saying, hey, if you got money for them, you got money for what we asked for. No, see, the thing about it is none of these politicians are saying that, except Jim Crow Jim Clyburn. No one is saying that descendants of slaves should not get reparations. They just won't flat out say it, because they know if you say that, that's going to mess up your voting base. But what they're saying is we're going to come up with these, what do you call it? With these committees, these research committees, the study committees, to see if we should get reparations or not. And it always turns out to nothing, but it's just something that'll keep us kind of, placating us for a little while, just to keep us, happy. The carrot in front of the donkey, carrot in front of the jackass, and he just follows it till the end of time. That's basically that's basically how it's going now. So, but my point is, the government. So what's going on now with the Israel and Palestinian war, that the Muslims, like I said, up north, was like, we're not voting for Biden. The way he's standing with Israel, he was standing with Israel on this conflict. They like, we're not going to vote for Biden. We're going to make sure everybody in America, every Muslim in America don't vote for Biden. That is a problem, because Islam, regardless if Biden hate him or love him, Islam got a financial backing overseas, in Palestine, in African countries, in the Middle East, where there's oil and gold and other kind of precious metals and oils over there. So they can't really mess with that base there. So what did he do? Now he got money to take 1,000 troops to Gaza to build a military base to help bring aid over there to the Palestinians. Just that quick. No studies. No publicly announced studies. It's done. That's how politics is done. You got to have some kind of financial backing. Somebody major got to be backing you, really, for politics to get done like that. But that brings me to this Laken Riley Act, because all of a sudden, after this nursing student gets killed by an illegal immigrant, a bill pops up in a matter of weeks, and the House passes. But let's get into it. Let's continue on it. It says the Laken-Riley Act focuses on 3 key provisions: condemnation of border policies. The legislation denounces President Joe Biden's border policies, including the controversial catch and release practice. It calls for the reinstatement of the Remain in Mexico policy. Let's look at this real quick. Let's see what that is. Let's search. Remain in Mexico. The Department of Homeland Security. Okay, because let's see. This go to Wikipedia. Remain in Mexico, officially a Mexican protection protocols, is the United States immigration policy originally implemented in January 2019 under the administration of President Donald Trump, affecting immigration across the border with Mexico, administered by the Department of Homeland Security. It requires migrants seeking asylum to remain in Mexico until the U.S. immigration court date. Man, you see what I'm saying? That is a perfect policy. To hell with Mexico and how they feel talking about they don't want no policy. You know why? Because they don't want all them people in their country. They want all them people to say, hey, they going to America, let them go to America. America like, hell, we ain't got no room. You know, sensible Americans say, hey, we ain't got enough room for these people. They need to stay in Mexico or they stay in their country. Use this app that Biden got, you know, saying, you know, you got an app that where you can fly people over here, 30,000 people over here per month and hit up 42 different airports. And don't tell nobody. Heck, you can create an app for people who seeking asylum and say, hey, when your court date come up, come on up or stay in Mexico. I don't care. You ain't got to go home, but you can't come up in here. But no, he repealed that. He said the policy wasn't initially ended by the Biden administration. And after some legal battles, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled on June 30, 2022, in Biden versus Texas, that the administration had the authority to end the policy. In December, that's a year and a half ago. In December 2022, however, a federal judge blocked the Biden administration from ending the program. Remain in Mexico has been widely criticized by human rights organizations for exposing migrants to attacks while they are waiting process. Look here, I'm sorry. We just don't have nowhere to We just can't do it. Period. We got too many problems in this country with our citizens to, I don't know, to have the finance and the funding and the ability to handle migrants. Also, that's what they make us believe, because you like schools closing down, mental health places closing down, hospitals are closing down, things of that nature. Shelters are full. But then all of a sudden, 7 million migrants come in and you got somewhere to put them. Empty houses, empty apartments, they opening up for these people. Just all of a sudden. But we won't get into that, but I always remember there's money behind it. There's money behind it. Oh, okay, so let's go back to, then it said Biden administrative formally ends. That was in 2021. So let's go back to Laken-Riley. The Laken-Riley Act focuses on 3 key provisions. Provision number 2, amendment to federal law. The bill proposes an amendment to federal law requiring Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, to issue detainers and take custody of illegal aliens involved in theft-related crimes, such as shoplifting, as defined by state and local law. So basically what it's saying is, if you come over here for asylum, you need to be a perfect citizen like us. No, don't even say the word citizen. Good Lord. You need to be a perfect guest like the citizens are required to be. Because if we're not, we go to jail, we get prosecuted and serve and have to do our time. You, my friend, should have to do the same thing. So it's saying that they are saying that they want ICE to detain these people. Somebody needs to take if they breaking laws. Somebody needs to detain these people. What's wrong with that? And here is provision number 3, empowering state attorney generals. The act grants state attorneys general the authority to file lawsuits against the Secretary of Homeland Security for injunctive relief. This option becomes available when immigration acts such as parole, violation of detention requirements, or policy failures, harm a state or its citizens. The Laken, you know what? And I learned that the definition of parole is not exactly what we thought it was, because that whole thing where Trump, like I was saying with Biden, bringing these immigrants over. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it right quick. If I can't, then I'm not even gonna trip. Nah, I didn't. I didn't save it. But yeah, the thing where, like I say, Biden bringing these people over, they said it's like a parole policy. And I'm like, what the heck does parole mean? But here, let's see, you go to Merriam Dictionary, and it says different definitions though. Parole synonyms. I don't want no synonyms of parole. Oh, that's something else. A promise made with or confirmed by a pledge of one's honor. On one's honor, especially the promise of a prisoner of war to fulfill stated conditions in consideration of his release. So that had nothing really to do with somebody who's guilty or innocent. It's like a POW. And they say, okay, we'll let you go, but you got to promise to do what you say you're going to do. Like the other country said, okay, we'll let you go to America, or USA said, we'll let you come here on the basis that you promise to, work and do or whatever conditions that we have for you in order for you to come over here to this country. Sounds like chattel slavery to me. But anyway, let's see. The Laken-Riley Act directly addresses a federal policy gap highlighted by the tragic murder of Laken Riley. According to its supporters, the accused assailant, Jose Ibarra, had been cited for shoplifting by the Athens Police Department prior to the incident. The bill contends that if local law enforcement had notified ICE and ICE had issued a detainer and taken him into custody, Laken Riley might still be alive. The bill will now go to the U.S. Senate for approval. Now, if this goes to the Democrats, the Senate, and they don't approve it by the letter of the way it was written, then you can really honestly say that they did not care about the border. Because again, there's nothing else added on to this bill. It's just, hey, we need to pass this. And like I say, I'm sure this bill was an older bill and it just happened to, this little tragedy happened. So now they're saying, hey, let's go and push it out there because now we got to strike while the iron is hot. We'll see. Because this is also very important because it is a political year. It is a year of, like I say, voting for the president. So if the Democrats mess around and don't pass this, you're going to lose a lot of votes. You're going to lose a lot of followers. And you know who that'll affect? People like Fani Willis. People like Fani Willis, who right now, who thought she had something going against Trump and all of his backfiring. And now you got people who trying to run against her for her seat this year in May and in November. This is something that she never thought probably would happen back when she was allowing Nathan Wade to clap them cakes. But anyway, this is how you do politics. This is how you want to see politics. See people like I said, Roland Martin and those Democratic shields that be on MSNBC and CNN. They be on there trying to say that, Black Americans, we're not smart enough to understand what's really going on in politics. And then so I say, then why don't you just show us? If we that dumb and we don't understand how politics works, while you on that TV screen, while you in that studio, go ahead and explain to us exactly what we are misinterpreting or misunderstanding. Make it clear for us. So that way we can say, oh, I understand what you're saying now. So if that's it, then sure, yeah, I'll vote for Biden any day. But you ain't done it. You just keep calling us stupid and ignorant. So we'll just keep saying that, I won't say Trump. It's either going to be the couch or not Biden. How about that? Because I'll never tell nobody, voting for the couch, that's a vote. But hey, if you really want to make Democrats or any party worry about how the election is going to turn out, every able-bodied Black American, I'm going to say every able-bodied American, but I'm specifically talking about my people just for this point, for that if you're not Black, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't Black. Everybody should become a registered voter from the age of 18 to 118. Become a registered voter. Because now you do that, and then when they ask you what party are you affiliated with, you say, I'm not. I'm just a voter. I'm just somebody who's looking for something, for tangibles, for me, in my family, in my neighborhood, in my people, in my country. Just looking for the person who's going to benefit us the most. That's it. I am not on no party line. Because I'm going to tell you like this, I have went and voted. And I'll say within the last few years, to where I voted for people on either side. Didn't matter. I didn't go for, like I said, for party. There's no down Democrat battle. What the hell is that? No, I'm voting for, like I said, I'm doing some research, seeing what these candidates are running on, what they're standing on, and I'm casting my ballot accordingly. It's simple as that, and I move on. I ain't sitting there telling nobody who I'm voting for. I ain't walking around with no sticker, nothing. It's, hey, I voted. Who'd you vote for? I just voted. I voted for the person that I felt was best for my community, or for the policy. No, I voted for the policy that was best for my community. That's the best way to say it. Ain't going on about your business. A lot of times people gonna say, "Oh man, you must have voted Republican. You ain't know. You must be one of them Trump supporters." That's what you sound like. Call it what you want. But I'm either voting for the couch or not Biden at this point. But this here, like I said, this is how you do politics. Didn't really want to make this story political because it's a tragedy. But I mean, hey, we gotta be 100 with it, and we gotta hit it right. You just got to. A lot of times things happen and people don't want to talk about it because they say it's a sensitive subject, or you don't want to make certain things political. But sometimes you got to, man. Sometimes you got to call it out. And the best time to create a point. Hey, they made a whole law about it. I mean, they put a whole bill in it. They passed a whole bill yesterday. So shoot, why can't I say something about it? I'm just saying, hey, I'm just showing, hey, this is another teaching moment. This is what I'm here for, to try to teach and to learn. This is a teaching moment. This is how politics is done. You come up with a policy, you get everybody behind it, you get a vote, you vote quickly, and then you say, okay, now what you gonna do about it? As simple as that. But anyway, hey, rest in peace to Laken and Riley. Hate to hear that happen. I mean, shoot, I had one daughter that was in college, and I got another one that's in college right now. I mean, you worry about when they out there when they're not around. I mean, heck, if I could have it my way, shoot, you know what I'm saying, they'd be living with me. You know what I'm saying, be living with me right now, going to college up the street. But I know that school ain't got what she's looking for. So, hey, you got to go where the opportunities are, right? So, I mean, she lives her life 22 years, and I'm sure she don't regret living her life. I know her parents are just grieving, so much over her loss. But from what they say, sound like she was a good kid trying to do the right thing and just out there running, and met with the wrong person. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story, y'all. Leave your comments below. Let's dialogue. You know how we do it around here. And as always, too, don't forget to support the channel with the 4 freebies. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. It only take you about a minute or two to do all 4, and it's free, and it help boost the channel in the algorithm. Helps promote the channel, get more views, get more likes, and and it's a great way to support it for free. Let them folks, the big money, put money behind the channel. You ain't got no. Hold on. I said I ain't talking about sponsorship, because you get sponsors, people try to sponsor, then they want to try to control what you're saying. I ain't talking about it. I'm talking about like advertisers and things like that. Should let them put that money back. But if you do want to donate financially or help out financially, there's ways to do it in the description box. So with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.